The rise and fall of ancient Rome, what modern societies can learn. Chapter 1. The rise of Rome. From city-state to global power. Rome's story began humbly in the 8th century BC as a small settlement along the Tiber River. What started as a simple city-state would soon rise into one of the most powerful empires the world has ever seen. Over the centuries, through strategic alliances, relentless warfare, and sheer determination, Rome expanded its borders to encompass vast territories, stretching from Britain in the northwest to Egypt in the southeast. At its height in the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire ruled over 70 million people across 3 continents. It wasn't just Rome's military might that built this empire. Its governance, innovations, and cultural prowess were just as significant. From constructing an extensive road network to introducing a sophisticated legal system, Rome was a pioneer in infrastructure, law, and governance. But beneath the empire's grand achievements lay a series of weaknesses that, if left unchecked, would ultimately lead to its decline. Chapter 2. The strain of expansion. Rome overextends. As Rome expanded, it found itself controlling more land than it could effectively manage. With borders stretching thousands of miles, the cost of maintaining a strong military presence in far-flung provinces was staggering. Rome's armies were deployed across Europe, Africa, and Asia, defending the empire from both external enemies and internal rebellions. Over time, this military overextension proved unsustainable. By the 5th century, the empire's borders were under constant pressure from barbarian invasions, particularly from the north and east. The famous sacking of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 AD was a grim reminder that no empire, no matter how powerful, was invincible. Chapter 3. Political instability and corruption. Rome's leadership. Crisis. Rome's political instability was another major factor in its downfall. By the later years of the empire, leadership had become a deadly game of intrigue, corruption, and assassination. The Roman Empire cycled through more than 20 emperors in just a century, many of whom were either murdered or overthrown by rivals. This period, known as the crisis of the 3rd century, was marked by civil war, military coups, and deep divisions within the Roman leadership. As Roman leaders fought among themselves, they lost sight of governing the empire. Corruption became rampant, as politicians focused more on securing personal power than addressing the needs of the people. Rome, once celebrated for its disciplined republican values, became a hotbed of political chaos. This kind of political dysfunction isn't unique to Rome. Throughout history, we've seen how corruption and power struggles can weaken even the strongest nations. Chapter 4. Economic decline, the burden of inequality. As Rome grew, so did its wealth, but that wealth wasn't evenly distributed. The elite lived in luxury, while the lower classes, particularly farmers and small landowners, struggled under the weight of heavy taxes. Economic inequality created a divide between the rich and poor, and eventually, the empire's economy began to stagnate. Inflation soared, and the Roman currency lost much of its value. To make matters worse, the empire's reliance on slave labor made economic innovation nearly impossible. Farmers abandoned their lands, and productivity plummeted. As the middle class shrank, fewer people could support the empire's enormous military and bureaucratic costs. Chapter 5. Moral decay. Rome's cultural shift. Many Roman historians believe that moral decay was one of the causes of the empire's fall. What began as a disciplined, duty-bound society slowly morphed into one more concerned with pleasure and excess. The gladiatorial games, originally meant to honor the gods, became blood-soaked spectacles for the masses. As the empire aged, Romans became increasingly obsessed with luxury, entertainment, and self-indulgence. This shift in values weakened the societal fabric of Rome. When people become more focused on distractions than on civic responsibility or collective well-being, cracks begin to form. The once proud Roman virtues of duty, honor, and responsibility were replaced with a culture of decadence. Chapter 6. Environmental change. Nature's role in Rome's fall. Few realize that environmental factors also played a crucial role in Rome's collapse. Changes in the climate led to food shortages, particularly in the northern provinces of the empire. As agricultural yields diminished, the population faced famine, weakening their ability to resist external threats and making disease outbreaks more deadly. Rome's struggles with environmental shifts serve as a stark reminder that even the most powerful civilizations are at the mercy of nature. Chapter 7. The lessons of Rome's fall, a mirror for modern society. Rome's decline wasn't caused by a single event, but by a combination of factors: military overextension, political corruption, economic inequality, moral decay, and environmental challenges. These issues built up over centuries, slowly eroding the empire's foundations until it could no longer stand. The lessons of Rome's rise and fall aren't just ancient history. They're a mirror reflecting back at us today. Rome may have fallen, but its history endures as a powerful warning.